record on his computer.
So we're about to get started right now. We got 23 people today, so that's really awesome. That is more than we kind of expected, so that's really great. Um, so I guess real quick, I just wanted to plug our form that we have one more time. This is our Google form for attendance for this event, and we're just trying to get some more data, as we were saying earlier, on this event. So I just posted that in the chat one more time. So that's my last ditch effort to try and get you guys to fill this out, so we can get a little more data on who's coming to these. So let's get started. So we are Quantum Computing at UCSD, or QCSD for short. We are a pretty damn new student organization, so we've only been around for probably like 2 months or so, I think, that we've been an actual official student organization. So we got a lot of exciting stuff planned, a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of new things that we haven't done before. So it's really great that we got a lot of interest in this. So this quarter, we're going to just go over basically what we have planned for the spring quarter. We got a couple workshops. We have a quantum computing hackathon kind of challenge that we're participating in as well. We have a UCSD team for that, as well as a couple other things. We have we're gonna have a little mini course plan for you guys as well. So we got a lot of stuff. So I'm glad that we can share all this stuff with you guys and hopefully get people to come out to these events. So let me go to the next slide here. That's kind of my answer to the question of what is QCSD. I think we have about 12 or 13 people that are kind of on our staff, and I'll explain what the staff is later. But that's kind of either staff or officers. We got about 12, 13 people that are involved with the club, that are helping out, that are making forms and doing graphic design and helping to plan workshops and everything. So our main goal, or one of our main goals, is to try and get people to be involved in kind of our staff cohort, to be involved in planning workshops and helping out with everything with the club. So that's one of our main goals in this GBM, is to try and recruit you guys for that. So we'll have a form at the end for there if you're interested in that. Yeah, our goal for this club is to basically just take a bunch of people at UCSD that have no knowledge of quantum computing, and kind of churn out some people that have a little more knowledge of quantum computing, that are able to participate in hackathons and other kind of events that can even possibly leading workshops and spreading this knowledge around even more, and to just kind of build a community of people that are knowledgeable on quantum computing. So we're going to just got to go through our kind of officer board. So Ben Sachs, that is me. I'm the president. I am an engineering physics major, and this is my first year at UCSD. Actually, I'm a first year transfer, yeah, if you have any questions about the engineering physics major, you could ask me about it. I've had to go through the whole process with the EC department to figure that major out. So that's me. I'll turn it over to I guess we can go through the order. So Andy, if you want to talk, just introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Andy. I'm a first year at ERC, majoring physics now, hoping to also pick up computer science as a double major, but it hasn't happened yet. Fingers crossed. Yeah, I do internal logistics. I'm basically handle everything, getting planned, scheduled, the calendar, meetings, basic stuff like that.
Hi, I'm Ishan, second year math CS major with a physics minor in Roosevelt College. And I am the external operations director. So my job is to communicate with entities outside of our organization, like other orgs at school and companies as well.
And then I think it looks like Matthew is not here yet. He had another meeting he had to go to, so he might be a little bit late. So we're going to skip to let's see. I think Audrey is here. So
Yeah, hello. I'm Audra. I'm a bioinformatics major and I'm the communications person.
We got Kira.
Yeah, hi, I'm Kiara. I'm a freshman computer engineering major in Warren College, and I'm the educational curriculum chair, so I'll be working on the mini course and other cool workshops.
I'm Aaron. I'm sort of the de facto person who tries to make stuff look prettier. I made the slides look nicer, like a logo. But if you think you have a good hand at graphic design and stuff like that, you like doing it, we're looking for somebody who has more experience than me. So later we'll talk about that. You can apply for staff and stuff like that. Oh, and I'm a first year physics major at Revell.
Graphic design is passing.
Hello, I'm Thomas. I am a second year physics major in Mirror. I am the secretary. I secretate. Mainly, I just record the meeting notes for the board meetings. But yeah, you can also contact me with questions or about the club or the physics major in general. And I'll turn it over back to Ben, and I guess we'll get this rolling.
I do want to note we do have a lot of staff members who aren't listed, but who are also helping out with a lot of our daily duties. So they're equally as important as us. We just couldn't fit them all on the slide.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk later about staff, actually. That's one of our main goals of this, is to recruit for staff, actually. So we will definitely talk about that as a good amount. So what we do, I think I mentioned that a little bit, trying to basically just kind of bring people on the path from knowledge of quantum computing to a little bit of knowledge from quantum computing to, maybe enough knowledge to actually do, a hackathon or put together a workshop or something like that. So we're trying to kind of bring people from group A to B, from group B to C, right, is our main goal. And I would say kind of this is kind of a threefold thing, right? So the first thing would be doing stuff like this, I guess, outreach events, GBMs and kind of workshops. I think a bunch of people here might have been to our workshop last quarter. So that one that's an example of more of an outreach kind of event, right? We're just kind of trying to build interest in quantum computing, maybe, introduce you to some the very, very basics, just bare bones kind of stuff, so that you've at least seen it before and you can pursue it a little bit more if you want to, and learn more if you want to, so that's kind of the first kind of a prong of that. And the second one would be just building expertise in quantum computing. So for example, we have a mini course plan that we'll talk about later. That's going to be two kind of little workshops. And that is more for kind of getting people a little bit farther than that, right? We're not just kind of generating interest and exposing people to it. We're getting people to have a solid foundation a little bit more, and have a little more knowledge on quantum computing. And so that's our second kind of prong of that. And then the third one is to just put together basically a UCSD quantum computing team, which we're kind of in the process of doing that right now. We actually have a hackathon that is coming up, I think, in a couple weekends here. It's the weekend after this coming weekend, I think. Actually might be, let's see, April 6th, this weekend. Anyways, coming up pretty soon here, that we are putting together an actual, this weekend, we're putting together a full team for that one. It looks like we'll have enough people for that. So that's really exciting. That's the first time we've done anything like that, with an actual full UCSD quantum computing team, possibly even 2 teams for UCSD. So that's really cool that we're going to be able to do that. So that's just kind of an overview of kind of what our goals are, what we are trying to be, and I hope you guys are interested in that, in being involved with this stuff, whether it is just to try and maybe pique your interest a little bit, see if you expose yourself a little bit to this stuff, if you want to be a little more serious about it, and if you want to actually join a quantum computing team and be on the UCSD quantum computing team, that'd be awesome. So that is kind of an overview of our general kind of stuff that we're doing right now. And then I am going to turn it over, I think, to Andy, right? Yeah. So Andy's going to talk to you guys about the timeline of this club and kind of where we've been in our very short little history.
Yeah, so we sort of started out kind of as an idea after an IEEE workshop. So IEEE had a quantum computing workshop with a guy from IBM who is basically his job is to outreach to different organizations and do stuff like this. His name's Dan. He eludes us in emails quite often, but thankfully, we a group of us sort of had a similar idea. Ben created the Discord in January, actually, and then we didn't actually become a club officially until February. I remember I had DM'd Ben and I was like, hey, there's a process to get it done, do an official club. You interested? And then we just sort of we winged it from there, and here we are now. So yeah, we officially became an organization on February 9th, and 10 days later, we had our first official workshop. We sort of gave an introduction to quantum computing and like what it is in general. And then we sort of went into some of the math behind it, just some basic stuff about it. And then now today, we've had some stuff in between, but today is our first official GBM for hopefully more to come in the future. But on April 8th, which will be this Thursday, I and Thomas are going to be hosting the Industry and QC workshop, which is our first I'd say strictly educational workshop. So rather than going into what QC is more about what you can do with QC. So what sort of positions are open for people in the field, specific companies that are doing it. And we're actually going to have a representative from IBM, Sebastian, who is, his title eludes me, but he is in a similar position to Dan, where a lot of global outreach stuff. So he's really knowledgeable and he'll be there to answer any questions. And soon after that, hopefully, we're planning to win our first QC hackathon. As we compete in more, that becomes more likely. We're hoping to advance, QC knowledge in general and with our members. And IBM has this program called Qiskit Ambassadors. So Qiskit is basically the IBM programming language for quantum computers. And if you contribute enough to it, and just in general or to the language itself, there is an ambassador program that just basically shows, you are contributing to it. So we're hoping to get a couple Qiskit ambassadors in our club, and future taking over the world. I'll hand it over to Ishan for about the next little bit.
Yeah, so a bit about quantum computing now. Since people might not know exactly what it is. First, let's start with this question that I want to ask you guys, just to gauge where you guys are. Okay, launching that Zoom poll. You
guys are fast.
I love that people are actually answering the secret fourth option.
You have to put the joke option in there. Cool. So it looks like about half of us are interested but don't know much. So that's good. That's exactly where we want you guys to be.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just end that poll. You can see the results if you want. So yeah, just to go over what it is a bit. Quantum computers, they utilize the very nature of. Oh, by the way, you can go to the next slide.
There we go.
Yeah. So the very nature of quantum mechanics is very different than the classical mechanics that we're used to. where a classical computer can store bits in ones or zeros, deterministically a 1 or a 0. A quantum computer, well, it's hard to explain, but quantum computers don't work like that. They're not deterministic, they're probabilistic. And because of that core thing, you can do things with quantum computers that you could never possibly do with a classical computer. And so quantum computing, because of these properties, it's poised to fundamentally revolutionize cryptography. It has the potential to bring unprecedented breakthroughs in medical and chemical technology. That is mainly because it is very difficult to do simulations of those sort of things on a classical computer, but it might be possible with a quantum computer. It will provide dramatic increase in speed for many widely used algorithms, and it's just very cool.
All right, so our events. So I think, let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna have let's see. So I think Matt was going to talk about our previous events, but I think he might be still a little bit late. So I might just go over these real quick. So on 2/19, we did our first kind of quantum computing workshop, which actually was very surprising amount of people show up. We got like 20 something people on that one. So that was awesome. And we kind of just, most of that workshop was not technical, right? We just talked about, what are companies doing in quantum computing? What is the history of this field? What even is quantum computing in the first place, right? And then at the very end of it, for maybe the next like half an hour or so at the end there, we went over the basics of quantum computing, some of the concepts involved there, right? So we talked about what superposition means, what the measurement principle means, which hopefully you guys will hear more about in the future, right? Talk about all the really basic stuff, and the feedback we got from that was actually that it wasn't too bad, that people were kind of being able to grasp those basic concepts. So that was really awesome. That's good news for you guys if you guys are interested in learning more about this field. Is that we've had people be able to grasp a lot of these concepts. Especially if you've seen a little bit of linear algebra before, if you kind of know a little bit about complex numbers, that's going to really help. Then we had our before that actually. And this was actually just me and Matthew. This was before we had our really a team put together or anything. But we did a quantum hackathon through MIT called IQ Hack, and we built a text-based RPG. So you guys, I guess most of you guys probably know what that is. So it's like, you enter a red room and you see two doors. What do you want to do? And then you type in commands and stuff, right? And so we took one of the first, I think it was the first ever kind of text-based RPG, and we made it kind of quantumized a little bit. So we added some actual quantum programs that were being run in that game, in order to create like probabilistic randomness, for example. So instead of using a classical, we say classical, so in regular random number generator, we're using a quantum random number generator, and actually able to run that on a real quantum computer. So that was really cool. So if you guys are interested in these kind of hackathons, these are a really great way to get started with quantum computing. Then we had two other workshops we did last quarter that were actually kind of partnership workshops. So the first one I'll talk about that was actually Ishan's workshop. And I guess if you want to kind of just go over that one really briefly, Ishan, you can.
Yeah, sure. Well, I did mention earlier that quantum computing is potentially going to revolutionize cryptography. So what we did in this workshop was I basically went over the concept behind quantum key distribution, why it's going to be necessary, and we even had a demonstration of a quantum key distribution algorithm.
Yeah, that was really cool. And then the last one was actually with Chase, who I think is here.
Chase is here, yeah.
Somewhere. Oh, cool. Chase is here. So, yeah, so that was Chase's workshop, and helped out a little bit on that one, and then everything else was kind of through IEEE, and that one was going over something called Qiskit, which is I think as someone mentioned earlier, I think Andy mentioned earlier, Qiskit is quickly becoming the kind of gold standard programming language for quantum computing, it was developed by IBM, and it is Python based, right? So if you know any Python, it's going to be really easy to pick up, and it's very, very simple. So we went over how to do a basic kind of random number generator program in Qiskit, and that was really cool. The coolest thing about that is random number generators don't really exist on classical computers. Classical random number generators we call pseudo-random, so they actually rely on stuff like the clock of the computer and stuff like that. To actually generate that randomness. So that was really cool that we could actually run a random number generator on a real quantum computer that uses real randomness. And then I think Manon just posted the link for the Qiskit workshop. So if you guys are interested in that one was pretty cool. That's on the YouTube page for the that's on the YouTube page for IEEE. So go ahead and check that one out if the chance or interest in that. And I think that is everything. That's everything that we've done so far. I think we have actually more than that planned for the next quarter, so that's pretty cool. I'd like to turn. I think So Andy's going to be presenting this one. So Andy, why don't you go ahead and talk about our industry workshop we have planned?
All right. So kind of like I mentioned earlier, later this week on Thursday, we are having the Quantum Computing and Industry Workshop. So if you're interested, even in pursuing the field, or even just seeing like what type of stuff are available there, even if you're not, wanting to go into it, about all the different companies that are looking into it. I mean, as someone was talking in chat earlier, there's tons of stuff, even stuff like I think I saw quantum meteorology or something like that. So yeah, quantum meteorology or metrology. I don't know metrology. I thought I read meteorology, but there's a ton of stuff, and not just purely, the quintessential working on research. Like there's a lot of stuff, and measurement science. I did not know that. Learn something new every day. Learn about all the different types of stuff, and like I mentioned, Sebastian will be there to answer any questions you have. Whether it be about IBM specifically, quantum computing as a profession, or just the fields in general. Look forward to that. That'll be Thomas and I believe, hosting it.
Yeah, and then just a quick thing I wanted to say about that one. I think it's going to be entirely pretty much non-technical. So it's going to be talking. It might, you guys might talk about, this group uses superconducting qubits, and they have it at 0 degrees Kelvin, and this group has ion trapped, and maybe briefly explain what that means. But it's not going to go into math. It's not going to go into the actual physics of any of this stuff, right? So if you guys are even just casually interested and kind of want to just know more about this industry, maybe even not for your own personal, maybe you don't want to actually go into the industry, but you're just curious about it, because it is definitely poised to really change the world, in a lot of ways. So if you guys are even just casually interested in that, I would say check that one out. This one should be really cool. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about our next stuff, or a next thing that we have planned, which is our mini course. So this one, we're wind up planning it for 2 sessions. And what it basically is just an introduction to a lot of the prerequisites required for quantum computing. A lot of this stuff, I think most of you guys might even know a lot of this stuff, but this would be even if you do know, a little bit of Python and some linear algebra, would be a great way to kind of get started learning quantum computing, and learn a lot of the prerequisites for actually digging into this stuff. So the first session, we're going to be just going over some linear algebra. We're going to be going over a lot of stuff about kind of vector spaces and maybe a little bit of complex numbers, right? And it's not going to be a ton of stuff, but it'll be just enough stuff that it'll prepare you for quantum computing. And yeah, like, yeah, exactly, Math 18 PTSD. It will be a much less stuff than Math 18 though, right? So we're not going to talk about a lot of the stuff in Math 18, like, span or, whatever linear algebra stuff we might, you might have learned. A lot of that stuff is not necessarily relevant for quantum computing. So we'll give you basically just the this kind of distilled essence of what you need to get into this field and start actually understanding quantum computing. The second session, we're going to talk more about quantum programming. So we're going to try and get you guys set up on what is called Jupyter Notebooks, which is just an online environment that is really easy to just start coding quantum computing in Qiskit. Again, IBM's kind of software for that. We're going to go over a view of Python or an intro for you guys that have not seen Python before. And then we're going to start digging a little bit to Qiskit, IBM's programming language or environment and library for quantum computing. So I think when that form that we posted for filling out for the for this event, that has a couple questions about whether you guys are interested in this mini course or not. So if you're interested in the mini course, please just fill out the event, the form for this event, and it'll ask you a couple questions about that. And please feel free to answer those if you're at all curious. And this is a great way. Oh, whoops, I accidentally clicked on the form. I was going to try and paste it one more time. So yeah, so try and fill out this form here, and let me present that one more time. Yeah, so this is a great thing to come to if you guys are interested in actually, maybe being involved on the actual teams, going to a hackathon, maybe becoming a Qiskit advocate, writing actual programs in using quantum computing. This would be a great way to get started. And then also, and then Kira is going to talk about kind of our overall plan for our educational kind of stuff for this club, because we have even more stuff planned for the next couple quarters, right? That should be even more extensive. We're just kind of getting it started with just a 2-session kind of mini course, but we're thinking about doing something more intense coming up. So Kira's going to talk about that very briefly for you guys.
Yeah, so like Ben said, we're teaching Python so that you'll be able to use Qiskit, which is IBM's library where you can program quantum circuits, and that's using Python. So we'll dig more into that in the actual mini course. This is kind of like the prerequisites for all of that, so you have the background knowledge, but we're thinking of going more into quantum algorithms, how to make quantum circuits, being able to run programs on the actual quantum computer, and all of that more technical stuff starting next fall. So we're still working out some of the curriculum for that, but this would be a really great way if you're interested and you have no prior experience to kind of start getting into the realm of quantum. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so thank you, Kira. So we're getting to kind of the tail end of this. We're going to start going over the rest of the stuff we have planned for the quarter. So that's just a few more events. So we have the hackathon that I think I mentioned earlier that we have planned. So that one is it's Yale and Stanford, I think. It's a fully online hackathon. And actually, if you guys want to sign up for that, you're welcome. I'm not sure. I think you might be able to join it without any prerequisite knowledge, actually. So if you guys
may be closed, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think because they have it was starting pretty soon here, but I guess it's in our Discord somewhere. So if you guys join our Discord, then you'll be able to find it. But that one we'll keep you updated on that one. Hopefully we'll be able to get first place in that one. But even if we don't, it'll be good experience for all of us. And we'll definitely learn a lot, and we'll get little swag bags.
That's the link to the hackathon. You can check it out. The registration might be closed. This week I guess it technically started this week. They're having a bunch of workshops and events leading up to this weekend.
Feel free to sign up for that one if it's still
open.
You
can still register until hacking begins, apparently. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and register if you haven't already, if you want to.
Yeah, and then we have a collaboration with Girls Who Code. It's tentatively for April 27th, and it's basically going to be just an intro to quantum computing. And you'll get started with the IBM Quantum Experience platform, which is an online platform where you can run algorithms and some experience, and you can also look at some tutorials and look at simulations that they have. And also they'll talk about some of the opportunities you can get, some other programs that are available.
Yeah, feel free to check that one out. That one's I think a good one to attend if you want a kind of little intro to quantum computing and you want to kind of kickstart your education in this field. So that one should be pretty cool. And then I think the next couple ones, I guess I'll talk about the next couple ones. So we have a quantum computing pop culture workshop. This one's a little bit more of a social kind of fun workshop, a little less kind of informational. But we'll be talking about how basically the word quantum in movies is kind of used as whatever we don't understand, and we want a hand wavy explanation for something. We just say it's quantum. It's like, oh, why is that device malfunctioning? Oh, it's a quantum something or so and so, right? You guys have heard that before. So we're going to be talking a little bit about how the word quantum is used in the the overall pop culture, including yeah, exactly, like Heisenberg compensator, the way that people use quantum in movies and stuff. So we're going to take a look at that and kind of see who does a good job, who doesn't do as well of a job, and kind of satisfy your curiosity on that one. So that should be really interesting. Actually, we haven't fully fleshed this one out yet, but that's basically what we have planned. So if you guys are curious about learning a little bit about how quantum is used incorrectly or perhaps correctly in movies to describe things that the writers don't feel like explaining, that one is a really cool one to attend. And then lastly, this was a quantum internet workshop. So quantum computing, if you attended our first workshop last quarter, you'd know that quantum computing has the potential to completely change the internet as we know it and provide perfectly secure communication. So that's pretty exciting. It would allow us to have an end-to-end encryption that is essentially unbreakable due to the actual laws of quantum physics. So that's something that's really exciting. You guys might have heard a couple things in the news about like China creating a satellite to ground link and quantum teleporting a photon or something like that. You might have heard of the Chicago, maybe I think Fermi National Laboratory, one of the laboratory that's working with the University of Chicago, connected a fiber optic cable to do quantum communication over really large distances that are like unprecedented large distances. So this field is kind of taking off right now. And we'd like to kind of inform you guys a little more about this one. This one's going to be a little more technical, but we're going to try and make it available for anyone with any level of experience, including people who have never seen any quantum computing math or anything before. So this one should be really interesting. You'll learn a little bit more about how quantum computing is totally poised to change communication in general as we know it. So stay tuned for that one as well. And all these dates we have here, the 27th, 22nd, 13th, these are all tentative, obviously except for this hackathon because that's not us. But we're going to get solid dates on those soon, and we'll start promoting them. So if you guys join our Discord, you will be able to see those in real time as they get announced. So come check out our Discord if you want to know more about those. And we'll also announce them on our Facebook page. And we're also putting together right now a website and an email list, but we haven't quite gotten done with that yet. So check out our Discord. We just linked our Discord and our Facebook, so please check those out and join those. Like the Facebook page, right? Join our Discord, and that should help you guys get up to date on all of these announcements. So please check that out. So we got a battle going on who can link this stuff the fastest. So those are our upcoming events, and as I just talked about, our Discord here, right, our Facebook page, and then the last thing, and I think I'll have, I guess whoever wants to talk about the staff, I'll turn it over because I've been doing a lot of talking. So if anyone wants to talk about that.
Yeah, sure. I'll talk about it for a second. So the staff is basically just a collection of people that want to get more involved with the club. Maybe aren't quite ready for a commitment to the officer positions, or you're just, you're looking at these QC stuff and you're like, man, I would really like to do some more, but I'm not quite sure what. Then staff is the great place for you to go. Basically, the staff, they just they come to the meetings, offer input in terms of club direction, and then when there's any sort of events or work to do, just sort of people that can help out officers to do their job and make sure everything runs smoothly. So if that sounds interesting to you, then go to that Google form, check it out. Yeah.
And I just want to mention real quick, so the staff is for anyone. So whether or not you have any knowledge of quantum computing whatsoever, whether or not you think you even have the right background to learn about this stuff, you can still be involved in the club. You can still help us out. There's a bunch of stuff, and we do not overwork you. We promise. We'll give you kind of bite-sized little tasks to do. Hopefully that'll be also interesting. Give you a chance to be actually involved in our events and help plan workshops and even present. As you can see today, we had, I think, 5 or 6 people present during this GBM. A couple of those people are actually staff members. So there'll be definitely opportunities if you're a staff member to present and to be involved in everything. So we also and you get paid a fifth gets, which is still 0. So but yeah, so please join staff if you guys are interested. That's a great way to start getting involved in this club and possibly even really present in our workshops and really help us make decisions and stuff. So please check that out if you guys are interested. Just fill out the form. It'll take you 30 seconds or whatever. And that'll be super helpful for us if you guys can help us out with that. And then we have our Facebook link, Discord. Let me link I'm going to link, this form keeps getting buried, so I'm just going to link it one more time. And I think you can figure out the Discord. I assume probably most of you guys found out about this from the Discord in the first place. So I think that's probably, it doesn't look like anyone's hopping on, so I bet you guys are already on there already. So that's awesome. We actually have like 160 something people, so that's really cool. And I think that's it for us. So thank you guys for coming. We really appreciate it. I'm really happy that we got as many people out as we did. I think we had 26 people in here at some point, so that is really cool. Really grateful for you guys for coming out to this. I hope this was interesting and kind of piqued your interest in quantum computing. I hope this gave you the resources you need to get involved in this club as well. So please stay posted on our Discord and our Facebook for the announcements for all these events and everything. And thank you guys for coming. Please fill out, I guess we have an attendance form one more time. So I'm going to post that again one more time. I think Manon just posted it. So let's see. Oh, it's not letting me Control C. There we go. I'm going to post that one more time for you guys. So please feel free to fill out this attendance form. It doesn't take too long. If you're interested in being in participating in our mini course, then that there will be a couple questions about that as well in that form there. So also, if you're interested in the mini course, definitely fill out that form for us. But we'll also introduce all these events and everything on the Discord and the Facebook at a later time for you guys, so that you guys can get forewarned and everything about those. So yeah, that is it for today. So thank you guys for coming, and we will hopefully see you guys around. So
shall I stop recording?
Yeah.
We do have one more poll for you guys after I stop recording.
Probably the most important poll.